chair.
There you go, buddy. That feels a little more comfortable.
We're going to work on another one. Fine. I don't know which way is easiest for you. Yeah. So let's talk Rep. Gutierrez, and then Rep. Willoughby, and then Brandy. I think let's do this. The mic. Oh, it's so tough. It's just taking it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's behave. Behave. Howie's so nice to me. Oh, God. Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. I thought it was so important that we celebrate this really incredible accomplishment together. So, Arizona's Division of Developmental Disabilities was born from a then novel, but now obvious idea that people with disabilities live longer, healthier, and more meaningful lives when they remain in their communities rather than institutions. But just last week, these critical services were in danger. After months of delays, Arizonans with autism, cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and intellectual disability were at risk of losing access to their daily care, which allows them to meet their critical needs and maintain their independence. But this community behind me persisted. People with disabilities, families, providers, healthcare experts, and a group of courageous legislators came together and demanded action. I hear from advocates for various issues, important issues, all day, most days. But every once in a while, a movement comes together that is so powerful that it makes everyone take notice. These folks were undaunted when some cynically saw this as an opportunity to score political points instead of listening to their constituents and working to solve a problem. Against the backdrop of uncertainty and the threat of having life-saving healthcare services ripped away from them, this community showed up every day and they stood in the breach. Their advocacy shouldn't have been necessary, but it turned out to be essential. They wrote letters and emails and took meeting after meeting after meeting. They told their stories again and again and again, stories of hope and resilience. Stories of people like Dr. Gabrielle Fici, a former DDD member with cerebral palsy and a community advocate. Dr. Fici told me that support services have not only allowed her to live independently, but also helped her thrive and become a licensed therapist, rehabilitation counselor, and professor. She advocates so that the resources that helped her remain available to all who need them. Stories of people like 10-year-old Alexandra Anderson, who was diagnosed with Pitt-Hopkins syndrome, an ultra-rare neurodevelopmental disorder. Doctors and medical journals told Alexandra's family that she might never walk or talk. But because of the strong support and life-changing programs offered here in Arizona, Alexandra has flourished. After years of therapies and DDD support, Alexandra took her first steps last month. These families were vulnerable and brave. Just 3 weeks ago, I sat in this very room with many of you. We talked about your lives and your children. We cried together, and I heard your fierce love and protection for your families, and I heard your frustration. I know how tough it is to be a parent, and I can't even imagine it with the additional challenges that you all have. I'm in awe of all of you. The fight I saw in you to get this done and make sure that your families continue to be cared for reminds me of why I entered public service in the first place. And Arizona saw firsthand that nothing is impossible in a room full of moms. And to Representative Willoughby and Representative Gutierrez, thank you for showing us what selfless and courageous legislating looks like. They say there's a reason why Profiles in Courage is such a short book. Courage is not the norm, it is hard. And I'm so glad that you had the courage to reach across the aisle, work together, and come to this bipartisan deal. We protected healthcare for Arizonans with disabilities, kept vital Medicaid programs like Kids Care out of the crosshairs, and ensured the voices of real people across the state were heard. Together, we showed Arizonans what is possible when we put the partisan point scoring to the side, get to work, and stay laser focused on delivering for the people we were elected to serve. Yesterday, I received a note from Brandy Kuhn, who you will all hear from in a minute. She put it best, saying, Arizona has shown that real solutions are possible when we center the conversation on people, not politics. I am immensely proud of the work that we all did to get here today. Last week, the group behind me was standing on the brink after months of gamesmanship. Today, we're celebrating a bipartisan accomplishment that protects their essential health care. And as long as I'm governor, I will stand with this community, just like I will stand with every Arizonan under threat of losing their health care and having vital Medicaid services stripped away. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Sneed. I'm a DDD member, a proud father, a good husband most of the time, and I also receive direct support services from DDD, and they allow me to be a better father, a better husband, and also maintain a full-time job so I can provide for my family. So these services in this bill allows that to continue. Also, I just want to express my appreciation for Representative Willoughby and Representative Gutierrez and all the work they did. They embody what I believe to be what a legislator should be, and they got the caucuses in the room, and they got the job done. And lastly, I would like to extend my appreciation to all the advocates and the caregivers and the providers that got together and joined together to advocate for this bill to be accomplished, and encourage us to just keep on fighting and keep on going, because I think there's a lot more battles to come. So thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Representative Nancy Gutierrez, and I am so thrilled to be here today. When Governor Hobbs, thank you Governor Hobbs, thank you to everyone here. And when Governor Hobbs first asked me to run the bill for the clean supplemental, I was thrilled to do it, because as a teacher, I felt like I was fighting for my students, my special needs students that I've gotten to have the pleasure of learning from since 2013. And then it got bigger than that. And I met Brandy Kuhn and the Haleys and so many of these amazing advocates, and really understood what the fight was about. And in working with all of them and our amazing staff who is also here, and then Whip Willoughby, we came together and did what was right. And it feels so amazing, because it's not just about a win. This is about every single person that's behind me and all of the people that they represent. And this is exactly why I wanted to be elected to this body, was to do this kind of work. And the lessons that I've learned from them, I will have for the rest of my life, and I'm just so very grateful. But I'm especially grateful to a 13-year-old young woman named Grace Haley. Grace, where are you? Come here, please. This is Grace, and she came to the listening session that we had with Governor Hobbs and many of the advocates behind us. And she read a letter that said, I'm going to paraphrase, stop your foolishness, let down your ego, work across the aisle, and help my family. And I told you that I listened. And this is why we were able to come together. And so don't ever underestimate your power. And let's listen to the kids. Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Julie Willoughby. I'm so thrilled to be here, but I'm not thrilled to be here because of something that was accomplished by us, but it was by everyone in this room. And I would like everyone to just give themselves a hand for the hard work that we did. When this topic was started, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't understand the depth and the breadth of it. But after meeting the same lovely young lady, because she was relentlessly emailing me, I sat down and met her and her Nana and her brother Caleb and her mom, and I was able to see exactly what this community is about. I've learned that they are great at two things. One is how to love, and two is how to fight. They came down here and fought, and they won, and now it's time to love. Now is the time to move forward, to be able to celebrate what we're here doing today, is that the funding has been sealed and we're ready to move forward with it. I'm proud to have worked with everybody that had anything to do with moving this forward. I'm thrilled that our caucuses were able to come together. I'm thrilled that we were able to get this done before the deadline, and I just am so very thankful for anyone that had to support. There's a lot of individuals that were behind closed doors that did a lot of work, that did a lot of the hard labor, and I appreciate them just as much as everyone that's in this room. But again, this is all credit of the DD community. Without them, I don't know if this would have had the same outcome. So thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Brandy Kuhn, and before I close out our speaking arrangements today, I want to invite back up here someone extremely special to join me on the stage. Again, please help me welcome Grace Haley. And Grace is a sibling advocate and a fearless example of what it means to step into uncomfortable spaces and ask the hard questions of our elected leaders. She shows up with tenacity, with clarity, and with heart. I've learned so much from the way she speaks truth to power, especially when it's hard, especially when it's not popular. Her voice is a vital part of this movement, and today she is helping me with one of the best parts, recognizing the leaders who chose courage and collaboration.
Thank you so much, Brandy. You're a wonderful leader, and we're so lucky to have you. Hello, my name is Grace Haley. I want to thank two inspiring women, Rep. Willoughby and Rep. Gutierrez. Representative Willoughby, I want to thank you so much for your courage and conviction. You protected the disability community against all odds and when it was most difficult for you. You responded to a little girl's email and you made her day. You are an amazing woman and a powerful DDD advocate. Representative Gutierrez, you have always backed our community, but what you did this time was amazing. You told me you would reach across the aisle. You promised, and you kept that promise. Without you, we wouldn't be here today. You both made me feel like my voice matters, and I will carry that with me for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Thank you. So I stand before you here today, not just as a mother or a caregiver or an advocate, but as someone who has spent her entire life being told no and choosing every single time to rise anyways. When I was 7 years old, sitting in the corner of my classroom, crying because I couldn't read or write, the school administrators told my mom, "Don't worry, we know how to help kids like her." But what they really meant was we've already given up. My mom didn't. She pulled me out of school. Thank you. She pulled me out of school that day, scared but fierce, determined to find a way. And a few years later, I started reading, and then I never stopped. That early no became the first spark that lit a fire in me. When I was a senior in high school, I was in student government, and I wanted to run a Christmas fundraiser for the families staying at the Loma Linda Ronald McDonald House. People told me that it wouldn't matter and that I wouldn't get enough donations. But I believed that it would, and I went for it. We collected so many gifts, it took 2 cars to deliver them. Less than 10 years later, I was one of those family members, staying at Ronald McDonald House during a holiday season, with my little baby being treated close by in a PICU for weeks on end. I was able to experience firsthand how much every act of kindness, donation, and service truly means. It all matters. When I was 24, I became a mother, and I heard it again. No, your baby won't recover from his traumatic brain injury. No, his life won't be what you hoped. But Tyson, he was not having that. He fights, he regains skills, and he finds ways to connect. He advocates for himself, and I fight beside him every step of the way. We both keep proving that no is never the final word. Then comes access. They say parents can't be paid caregivers. It's not allowed. It was allowed during COVID, but I didn't accept that no. I dove in. I read the rules. I researched the waiver. I gathered stories, and I asked hard questions. I brought facts, humanity, and urgency, because families like mine are holding this system together, and that impossible no became a loud and resounding yes. And now here we are, this year, being told again that there won't be supplemental funding. The Parents as Paid Caregivers program is going to sunset, but this time we were ready. We didn't back down, and we got to work. We organized, we built bridges, we proposed legislation, we walked the Capitol halls. We didn't let up, and until every voice was heard. And it worked. We secured bipartisan gap funding. We codified the Parents as Paid Caregivers program. And this isn't just a win. It's a revolution built on truth, love, and determination. This win belongs to every self-advocate, caregiver, and taxpayer who spoke up. Every sibling who stepped in. Every voice who kept showing up after hearing no 100 times. It belongs to all of us. So if you've ever been told no, let this be your reminder. Sometimes no is just the beginning. Sometimes it's the fire that sparks a movement. Thank you for believing, thank you for fighting, and thank you for showing the world what unstoppable looks like. We are just getting started.
Is that going to be a line, a red line for you in budget negotiations this year, ensuring that funding continues on?
Certainly, we want to ensure after this long fight that you all witnessed that we continue this funding, and I am hopeful that we will be entering budget discussions very soon.
Is there enough money in the budget, Governor? You looked at the numbers, you've seen what the president's done to the economy. Is the money for this and everything else you want, homelessness and education?
My executive budget lays out my priorities. Those continue to be priorities, especially protecting healthcare for Arizonans who need it the most. And we're going to work, we have tough conversations in front of us. And we're going to work through that, and we're going to get to a budget that protects services for Arizonans.
Understood, but you've seen the revenue numbers.
I have.
Finance Advisory Committee met and said
I don't have all the answers right now, but you know what my priorities are, which are in line with Arizonans' priorities, and I'm going to fight for a budget that protects those.
Others? Excuse me. Why didn't you include 211 funding in your budget, and do you have any plans for how to deal with the services that they provide if they're not going to be around anymore?
I don't have specifics on that, but we're getting into the budget discussion with what will be approved, and so I know that's a need that has come up recently. Yes.
Governor, you anticipate the same struggles as before, as you know, this only carries us through 2 days. Are you prepared to deal with those issues again? Are those issues still looming?
It's absolutely a priority to protect this funding in the ongoing budget, and I'm sure it will be part of the negotiations.
Governor, what kind of hit would the state take if Congress eliminated the Medicaid extension? What kind of hit in terms of people affected and dollars?
Hundreds of thousands of Arizonans will lose their health care. We can't afford to fill the gap, and in fact, our expansion legislation has a trigger. So if that federal funding goes away, it goes away here. Those Arizonans will lose their health care. And so I'm hopeful that our members of Congress do the right thing and they protect that health care for those people, those lives. It will cost lives.
Is there any way you could even backfill them?
No, we don't have the capacity. No state has the capacity.
Mary Jo?
Governor, would you be willing to tap the rainy day fund for some of that funding if indeed Congress takes the cuts that seem to match the money anymore?
I mean, the rainy day fund isn't going to cover all of the cuts that we're expecting from Congress. So, and that's not what it's there for. It's not there to bail politicians out from bad decisions. It's there to get us through a rainy day. So, again, we're going to have some hard conversations as we enter the budget discussions, and I'm hopeful we don't have to see what happens if Congress decides to go through with these massive cuts.
And just to follow up, have you conveyed that to members of Arizona?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Since the November election, we've been having these conversations.
There's a planned rally going to end up here tomorrow at the state capitol. Just your thoughts on that, this protest over the Trump administration, and just your thoughts on that.
Well, I think Arizonans and Americans, as last I checked, still have a right to free speech and peaceful protests, and it's people feel like they want to take action, and that's an action they can take. And I don't know what else you want me to say on that.
Are you going to be there?
I'll be here.
Adding your voice to the.
Oh.
I saw Representative Gutierrez saying she's going to be there. Are you going to be there, Governor?
I will be here in my office doing the work of the people.
Yeah, Governor, the Arizona legislature approved, I believe it was on Monday, 2 bills that could have paved the way to create the country's first Bitcoin, the Bitcoin reserve. Will you sign it?
I am being briefed in a few moments on all the legislation that's sitting on my desk right now, so I can't answer that at the moment.
Do you understand what Bitcoin even is?
I mean, does anyone really understand Bitcoin?
Others?
Yep.
Governor,
Yeah.
I have a question. One of the executive orders that the president signed this week takes aim at in-state tuition
Yep.
for Dreamers. Do you have a position on that executive order if
Well, I think there are certainly legal questions about if they have the authority to go after that. I know that the AG is looking at this order, but this is an initiative that was widely supported by Arizona voters, and the president himself, before he took office, said he hoped to be able to protect dreamers, and this kind of flies in the face of that.
A follow-up to that, if the U.S. Attorney General does decide to take aim at Arizona's version of in-state tuition at Prop 308, what will your administration do?
We haven't gotten into the details of what that might look like yet, but this is an initiative that was passed by the voters, and as governor, I feel like it's my responsibility. I don't feel like it is my responsibility to uphold the laws of our state.
Governor, just a question. As an agency owner taking care of over 600 families in the valley, you've included parents, and it's great. Love it. Would you think of including agency owners, the ones who take care of the people, in your meetings and follow-ups? And because we haven't been included at all. And I know there's been 5 agencies only, basically, that have shown up here and try to get their voices heard and support families. We brought a ton of families here. Would you be in support of including agency owners?
Yeah, I have staff in the room. They can follow up and make sure that you're part of that discussion. Yeah.
We have media questions. 1 or 2 more media questions.
Yeah.
You have a stakeholder meeting on Diamondbacks?
Yes.
I believe. Where do you see the opportunities for compromise?
I think we're very close, and I think getting everyone in the room. A lot of things were sort of sidelined because of the DDD issue, and we got that done. And now I think we're going to be able to get the last few remaining big issues back on track, so we can get a budget done and get out of here. Not me get out of here, but you guys. I think this meeting is really going to be important to have all the stakeholders at the table and hash out the disagreements that remain.
What are those big issues that need to be hashed out?
I'm not privy to all the details. I know there's a couple sticking points, and I think we can come to a compromise. My priority in the bill is making sure that we're protecting taxpayers, creating jobs, and keeping the Diamondbacks in Arizona. I can't answer a hypothetical, but I've been clear. I want the stakeholders to be on board, and I want something that really addresses all the concerns.
A similar question on another piece of legislation. Is there anything you can tell us about the status of negotiations on the Starter Homes Act?
They're continuing as well. That's all I can say.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.